Hi, in this video I'm going to be exploring Pear Deck for our tech and education trend and for online based learning. So Pear Deck is an add-on in Google Slides. You just go to add-ons, get add-ons. Pear Deck shows up, you click it, install it. If not, you can search in the apps up here. Once it's installed, you will click add-ons. And then open in Pear Deck, Google Slides, open Pear Deck add-on. This tool taskbar then will pop up, which I think is very visually easy to understand and use and makes it very understandable of which tool is what and easily accessible. I think some of the biggest advantages to Pear Deck is that you can add it to existing presentations, and so you're not having to start from scratch. I think that it just makes it a great tool to start using and utilizing right away rather than feeling you have to start from step one. Also, it lets your students be engaged and it promotes inquiry-based learning and doesn't just deliver the facts to your students but challenges them and sparks curiosity. And it can be used for multiple of subject areas in a variety of devices. It can be done individually or as a group. So I'm going to show you here how to add some of these components into an existing Google slide. So for example, for here, I want to make this slide of my presentation interactive for my students. So if it says what color is made when you mix red and blue, my students, I want to have them drag their answer. So I'm going to use that draggable tool right here with the circle and the little triangles. This here lets me see what shape my draggable option will appear on my screen, and I'm going to choose it a star because I want to just change it. And if you don't want that color, you can also change the color. There are a few different options. I'm going to choose gray. And then this over here on the right lets you see how large it will be in comparison to all of the images on your screen. So you can make it smaller or larger to fit whatever picture they're going to be dragging it up onto. And then you just click update and it adds this right into your slide. You don't have to do anything else, but you do want to make sure that you do not delete this gray taskbar. This is what creates the slide to be interactive, and if you take it away, then it becomes just a regular Google slide. I'm just going to show you a few other options, and then I'll show you what it looks like when you present, because you do present a little differently than you would a normal Google slide presentation. So here, if I wanted my answers to be a written out answer, I can click the ABC function, and then it just automatically just gets added into the end of my slide, and my students would write down whatever answer. So you have to make sure you have whatever you want written for as options in your slide already. Here I have one already imported into here, but it's similar to the ABC. It is just the 1, 2, 3 icon here. This is where they would respond with a number answer. Another great resource is the template library. So they've got beginning of lesson, during lesson, and end of lesson. So for example, if I wanted to just maybe see how my students felt about color theory at the beginning, how strong they understood the material, I could add this pre-made template slide. Now, what's great about these is that they are customizable. So if the question that is appearing in the slide does not work for you, you can change it. So I can say, how well do you feel color theory. Then my students would drag their answer and it's already done, that slide. So I think that's a great resource to use slides that are already made, and you just add and edit information to fit whatever your presentation is being given. Some of the disadvantages is that every student does need to have a Google account, and every student does need to have an electronic device. So if you're not a one-to-one school, this could present some issues, but if you have some type of lab that you could go to and use, you might be able to utilize that. Or if you had some type of Chromebooks or iPads that you could rent and check out for your room, you could maybe have that be for a lesson that you're doing. Another disadvantage, but not the biggest disadvantage, is getting the hang of and use of Pear Deck can take some time. And from my research, some of the teachers feel that the program is very limited for math and that it does not can't be utilized the best as in other subject areas. So now when you go present, it is a little different. So when you go present, it's not going to be here in the slideshow option up in Google Slides. It is going to be in the start lesson. And you can choose student-based or instructor-based, but like for me, if I was, you're showing it up and having it as a presentation, you might want to choose instructor-based. Here is going to pop up. You're usually going to have to click into your Google account, but once you're in your Google account, then this will show up here on your screen. You will project this onto your smartboard. Your students will go to joinpd.com and they will type in this code. So I'm already signed in here as kind of like a student, and I'm going to type in that code. And then it brings me here. I sign in. And then this one here is going to be what it looks like on the student end. So as you progress through your slides, so will your presentation. So here, once you've got all your students logged in, you just X out of that and you progress through your presentation. So like here, if I was asking my students to tell me how they feel while they know color theory, this is what it would look on the student end, and they would take that dragger icon and drag it to their answer. Then on my side, once I see all of that my students have responded, I know that I can move on, or I can show responses, and it then lets us all see the answer and how everybody answered. I think one of the greatest things about Pear Deck is it just takes that nervousness that students have of answering questions in front of a really big group, and just helps just them all to participate rather than just one or two kids always answering. So like here you can see again another question, and their slide progressed as I progressed my slide, and their answers here, since it's a multiple choice, show up on the right. They choose whichever answer they want, and again then it shows me my responses. I hope that this video has shown you the pluses and minuses to Pear Deck and encourages you to use it in your own classroom.